Hello, everyone. My name is Deborah Black, and this is my presentation, The Freeway, a Socially Negotiated Space. So, when we think about our daily commute and going into work every day, I don't know about you guys, but I am a freeway commuter. I spend about 20 minutes in one direction on the freeway. And we usually view this as just a tool, a physical structure that gets us from point A to point B. But anyone who's ever been stuck behind that 18 wheeler in the fast lane knows that the freeway actually isn't uh, just that physical structure, but a highly emotional space. So today I'm going to be investigating that friction, that emotional space. And I am going to argue that it is not a neutral space, but it is socially negotiated, and it has legal aspects and unwritten social rules that are in friction of one another. So that leads me to my claim that the freeway isn't just a concrete structure, it's a socially negotiated space. The official rules say that the speed limit is the same across all lanes. The invisible social map dictates a hierarchy of speed where the left lane belongs to those who want to move faster. And when you violate that norm, it creates spatial friction. This is my artifact, my dual layered map. I originally started this map on a piece of wax paper to overlay the two. However, my capabilities as an artist are lacking. Therefore, I had a little bit of help from AI putting together this map. So I wanted to be able to visualize that there is this invisible social norm of the freeway lanes. So on the one side of the map, you can see that that is the legal map, showing that according to the Texas Department of Transportation, there's a posted speed limit of 65 miles per hour that is used for all lanes. So that applies to all lanes, and that is equal. However, in the other map, that invisible social layer, that the commuter knows that those left hand lanes are for passing or for the faster moving vehicles. And if you are traveling in the left hand lane and you are slower than the person behind you, and you can see them in your rearview mirror, they're up close, then you should be moving over to a right hand lane to get out of the way. The middle lane, represented at the 70 mile per hour range, is that kind of cruising speed. And then the right hand lane are for those slower drivers or for those merging onto the freeway. Also, in this map, you can see that some of the color coding is indicated by stress levels. So, your lower or more friendly colors, like the light blue and the lighter pink, are to represent those less stressful lanes. Whereas on the left hand side, where in that social norm, when they are not being followed and those persons don't move over or they're going too slow and they're not observing that social norm, they create frustration or friction. So that's what that bright red is for. My design choices in this map, you'll see that I left out most of the things that you would normally see on the side of the road, neighborhoods, businesses, other signs, things that might normally be distracting. And the reason that I did that is because this map represents a commuter's route. So those things normally wouldn't be of concern for someone who is commuting to and from work, and the same social norms might not apply. The boundary of this map is also that commuter aspect. So I used my commute as an example, which would be about a 20-minute stretch of Highway 59 headed north during rush hour. The theoretical framework behind this presentation is Michel de Certeau's framework of spatial practices. So de Certeau distinguishes between the voyeur and the practitioner. So the voyeur being the law, the state of Texas expectations are 65 miles per hour across all lanes. That is the speed limit. However, the practitioner has a different reality. So they're expecting to be able to get into that left-hand lane if they need to pass someone who's going slower. And if there is someone not following that social norm in that left-hand lane, then it's going to cause friction. In addition, we have Nedra Reynolds' countermapping and contested zones. So this aligns perfectly with that countermapping because you have a contested zone. So that space is not neutral. It's shaped by social norms or social forces that then create that friction. So by mapping that invisible social rule of the fast lane, it's an active counter mapping. So the legal map tells one side that's rational and objective, whereas the counter mapping is the reality of the subjective and is defined by that social practice. So, why does this matter? So, this is evidence that a seemingly neutral infrastructure has rhetorical and social implications. It's validation for that daily commuter that spatial friction. It's not just theoretical. When you have that voyeur aspect and the practitioner aspect, when you have them competing in the same space, that it causes friction, it causes exhaustion. So, what can be done by moving forward? So, by proving that that simple stretch of concrete is rhetorically and socially constructed, we can better understand how those public spaces, even though they seem neutral, that they enforce those implicit social hierarchies. So, I plan to use this groundwork to analyze how other spaces, possibly in my workspace, will dictate that behavior and impact our well being. As far as the freeway aspect is concerned, I would love to see additional and improved signage regarding the lane usage and increased awareness through driver education, increased law enforcement of passing left hand lane usage. Um, Another aspect of this presentation was watching my classmates' presentations. Most of them had to do with the classroom and the school workspace. And I've been trying to wrap my head around the theoretical aspect of this. And so every day on my way to and from work, I was thinking about that. And I get frustrated very quickly on just about a daily basis with the lane usage and that social aspect of commuting to and from work every day. So I found that I started thinking about that. Like, does this space have two implications? Is there a lived practice, and then is there another neutral everyday legal usage? Do the two collide? And that's when I started thinking about this idea. So I thank you for your time, and we'll see you next time.